Most people think they know what love looks like in a dog: a wagging tail, a happy bark, the wild sprint to the door. But some of the strongest signs are nothing like that. They are quieter, more precise, easy to miss if you only pay attention to the obvious moments. Because the deepest bond is not always the loudest one. Sometimes it shows up in where your dog settles, what they do when your mood changes, how they organize their body when the world feels uncertain, and the way they seem to read you before you have said a single word. Today, we are not looking at dramatic tricks or cute habits. We are looking at the small behaviors that can reveal something much deeper. Whether your dog sees you as a source of safety, orientation, and trust. And stay with me, because near the end, and I'm going to show you the one sign people confuse most often. Many assume it means love. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it means your dog is struggling. This isn't a diagnosis, but it can help you tell the difference between normal attachment and behavior that may need support. Let's start with something people overlook every single day. Not how your dog follows you, how your dog relaxes around you. That difference matters. A lot of owners read attachment through movement, following you into the kitchen, waiting by the bathroom door, trailing you from room to room. But in many well-bonded dogs, one of the clearest signs is not constant motion. It is the ability to let go. A dog that trusts you deeply will often show it through softer behaviors. They may stretch out more fully near you. They may choose a resting place that lets them keep track of you without staying tense. They may settle faster after stimulation when you are in the room. That is not a dramatic sign, but it is a meaningful one. Because relaxation is expensive for an animal that is unsure. Watch for the subtle version of this. Does your dog choose a spot where they can hear you, but not necessarily cling to you? Do they rest with loose muscles instead of staying coiled? Do they check where you are, then return to calm? That pattern often tells you more than excitement ever could. And here is the practical part. The question is not only, does my dog want to be near me? The better question is, can my dog feel safe enough to settle when I am nearby? That is a stronger sign of healthy attachment than simple shadowing. Now here is where people often get it wrong. A dog following you everywhere can look incredibly loving, and sometimes it is. But if that same dog cannot relax when you leave, cannot eat, cannot settle, paces constantly, vocalizes, or seems distressed every time distance appears, you may not be looking at secure attachment anymore. You may be looking at dependence mixed with stress. That does not make your bond bad. It just means the bond may need support. That is the first hidden truth. Strong attachment is not only about wanting closeness, it is also about being able to recover. The second sign is one of the easiest to laugh off.
There.
Your dog brings you something, a toy, a slipper, a chewed rope, some random object they should not even have. Most people see that and think one thing, play. And yes, sometimes it is exactly that. But not always. Dogs often use objects as a way to open interaction. An object can create a bridge between your world and theirs.
All right, let's play.
It gives them a simple, familiar way to pull you into a shared moment. That is why this behavior becomes especially interesting when your energy is different. Maybe you are tired. Maybe you are distracted. Maybe the room feels emotionally flat. And then your dog walks over holding something. Not necessarily because the item matters, because connection does. Some dogs seem to have learned that shared routines can change your state. A toy can begin movement. Movement can begin engagement. Engagement can change the feeling in the room. In that sense, your dog may not only be asking for a game, they may be trying to restart contact, and that makes this behavior worth reading more carefully. Or if the body is loose, the eyes are soft, and the dog seems inviting, that often points to healthy social behavior. If the behavior becomes repetitive, frantic, pushy, or difficult to interrupt, it may be less about connection and more about dysregulation. Same action, different emotional meaning. That is why surface behavior can fool people. At Mr. Hidden Mind, that is the whole point. We do not stop at what a behavior looks like. We ask, what state is driving it? Now, before the next sign, there is something important most owners never hear. Not every deeply bonded dog is clingy. Some of the most connected dogs look calm, almost understated. They are not always the dogs jumping highest, barking loudest, or demanding constant contact. Sometimes they are the dogs that seem to track one person quietly, almost invisibly, eyed as if their attention is always present even when their body is still. That brings us to the next sign. Recognition, not general excitement. Recognition.
Hello there.
A lot of
Did you
dogs
miss me?
react when a door
Come here, good
opens.
boy.
That by itself tells you very little. What matters is the shift that happens when they realize it is you specifically. Sometimes it is in the face first, sometimes the ears, sometimes the
Hello
entire
there,
body
beautiful.
softens before the greeting even
You're
begins.
such a...
That moment is easy to miss because the bigger reaction comes right after it. But if you slow it down, you can often see a clear transition from alertness to release. And that release is revealing. Many dogs learn household routines: cars, footsteps,
Hey, buddy.
keys,
Did you miss
voices,
me?
doors.
I'm home.
But in a strong bond, one person can become more than familiar. They become regulating. That means your arrival does not just create
Hello there.
excitement.
Who's
It
a
may
good
help your
boy?
dog organize
Yes, you
themselves
are.
more quickly. They may soften sooner, settle sooner, and return to baseline more easily around you than around other people. That is a much deeper signal than a loud welcome. So here is a better way to read reunions. Do not only watch the first 10 seconds, watch the minute after. Does your dog remain chaotic for a long time? Or do they reconnect, exhale, and settle? A dog that truly experiences you as emotional safety often does not just light up when you appear. They come back into balance, and that is a
Welcome.
very
Come on
different
in.
thing.
It's so good to
Now
see
let's
you.
move into the situations
you.
that reveal the
I brought
bond
some fresh
even
fruit
more
from-
clearly.
It's all right,
Moments
little
of
one.
uncertainty,
Just
a new
noise down the
visitor,
hall.
a loud hallway
We're safe
noise,
here.
a crowded room, an unfamiliar place, or a strange object in the corner that somehow feels offensive to your dog for no logical reason. These moments tell you a lot because uncertainty changes behavior fast. Watch what your dog does with their body. Many bonded dogs use their person as a reference point when they are unsure. They may move closer without hiding. They may stand beside you and angle outward toward whatever they are watching. They may look at the thing, then look at you as if checking for information. That check-in is powerful. It suggests your dog has learned something important from living with you. Your presence contains usable information, not just comfort. Information. That is why a secure bond is so valuable. It does not only make the dog feel attached, it can help the dog interpret the world. You see this in small
All right.
moments all
Are you
the
ready for
time.
your walk?
Or a dog
Yes,
enters a
you
new
are.
place, scans the room, then glances at one
Don't
person
worry.
before
Just
deciding what
follow
to do
me.
next.
I'll
A
guide
dog
you
hears a
through
noise,
everything you need to
freezes
know.
for a second, then relaxes when the owner stays calm. A dog at a gathering keeps returning to the same person before going back out to explore. This is not
Go on,
always
settle by the
protection,
fire, little
and it
one.
is not always fear. Very often it is orientation. Your dog is using you as part of how they decide what something means. And here is the practical insight most worth applying. When your dog checks in with you during uncertainty, your reaction matters. If you immediately tense up, speak nervously, overhandle, or flood the moment with emotional energy, you
The
may
dining hall
accidentally
is just
confirm
past
that
here,
something
and
is
breakfast
wrong.
is served
But if
between
you
7
breathe,
and 10.
create space,
Enjoy
and
your
reward
stay.
calm attention, you teach your dog a more useful lesson. Uncertainty does not have to become alarm. That is how healthy trust grows, not by making your
Don't
dog
worry.
need you
Are you
more,
hurt?
by helping your dog feel more capable with you nearby. And now we come to the sign that people misunderstand the most. Your dog notices your emotional shift before you say anything. This is the one that gets romanticized instantly, and sometimes for good reason. Dogs can become extremely familiar with the patterns of the humans they live with. Over time, many of them learn the difference between your ordinary silence and your heavy silence, your normal pace and your drained pace, your usual face and the version of your face that appears when something is weighing on you. That is why some dogs come closer before there are obvious tears or obvious words. They may rest near you, watch more carefully, get quieter, or lean in. Stay close without asking for much. That can be a healthy sign of attunement, but this is exactly where nuance matters most, because not all emotional sensitivity is the same. A balanced response usually looks soft and steady. Your dog comes closer, checks in, and remains calm. A burdened response can look different. The dog becomes hyper-alert, cannot disengage, tracks every move, struggles to settle, seems activated by your emotion instead of simply responsive to it. That difference is important, because the goal is not just emotional closeness. The goal is a bond your dog can live inside without strain. So if your dog is highly tuned to you, one of the kindest things you can do is build more moments of predictable calm into daily life, not bigger affection, better regulation, or that can mean slower decompression walks, clearer routines, longer rest after exciting events, simple food enrichment, a reliable settle spot, less accidental chaos in your voice and timing. These changes may look small to us. To a sensitive dog, they can be enormous. Because dogs do not only attach to affection, they attach to patterns, to the rhythms that repeatedly tell their body, you are safe now. Nothing urgent is happening. You can let go. And when that becomes part of the relationship, something beautiful starts to happen. Your dog does not only seek you in excitement, they return to you in order to regulate. That is one of the clearest signs of a deep, healthy bond. Not obsession, not panic when separated, not constant demand, but this. Your presence helps their system settle. So when you put all of this together, the picture becomes clearer. A strongly bonded dog may not just follow you. They may relax more fully around you. They may not just bring toys. They may use shared rituals to reconnect. They may not just greet you loudly. They may become more organized the moment they recognize you. They may not just stay close in strange situations. They may use you as a reference point for how to feel and what to do. And they may not just notice your sadness. They may respond to subtle emotional change in ways that reveal just how carefully they have learned you over time. That is the hidden layer most people miss. Love in dogs is not always theatrical. Sometimes it is measured in softer muscles, quicker recovery, repeated check-ins, quiet offerings, a body that chooses calm near you. And that is why reading a dog well requires more than affection. It requires attention. At Mr. Hidden Mind, we look beneath the visible habit and ask what inner pattern it points to, because behavior is only the surface. Underneath it is emotion, expectation, memory, nervous system history, trust. And once you start seeing that layer, your dog stops looking random. They start looking legible. If this changed the way you read your dog, stay with Mr. Hidden Mind. Because the most important messages animals send are rarely the loud ones. They are the ones hidden in plain sight.